Thank you for being with me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and conditions are going to rapidly change later today with big storms. So I appreciate you sharing this information with your friends and family to get the word out. These storms are going to be aggressive. Conditions will go downhill rather quickly. And please leave in your comments your location, what kind of weather you have going on as we build this weather community together. I'll get to those comments throughout the day. Now, watching this area of low pressure spinning right near Italy. This is going to draw on some heavy storms. Watching over toward Hungary, over toward Romania, parts to the north. I'll zoom down in a moment. That big spin near Iceland enhances everything, really enhances the flow, and we're going to be seeing, again, some aggressive storms. We can go from some ordinary showers to some big-time downpours in just a matter of minutes in some spots throughout the day. We have seen the scenes of that the last 2 days. Parts of Spain, parts of France with some flooding. It is now on the move. So here's that bigger spin, watching that over toward Austria. Another one back toward Belarus. Here's that really big spin back toward Iceland with that chance of showers today, helping to enhance everything in the environment. And even a couple showers clipping by parts of northern Norway, Sweden, Finland. I was showing you that, highlighting that in the last video. All of that, it's happening, and that's what we're seeing. Now let me zoom down here across Italy, not just northern sections, but even as you get toward Rome south, we could get a couple of those storms. You kind of see this spin right in through here. Czechia seeing some of the heavier storms. Slovakia, we get back toward Austria, southeastern sections of Germany, around Munich. We have some of that rain pivoting around, diving back towards Switzerland. This is really heavy stuff. Krakow, as we get toward southern sections of Poland, watching out for the storms. Heaviest over the last couple hours have been over toward parts of Slovakia. Not as much as you swing down to the south, Kosovo to the north. That's where most of the action is. Now we swing back here as we get over toward the UK and back toward Ireland. Generally, the weather has been settled. As you hang with me, I want to show you another system that will clip us by. As of now, watching a couple little showers, Plymouth over toward Falmouth. We've had a few. Most of us getting some breaks of the sun as we go throughout the day. Parts of Wales as we swing back towards Scotland, Northern Ireland. Ireland looking good in many spots. Netherlands as well as we get back toward the Netherlands and Belgium. But then we get to this other spin here. Look at this spin right near Belarus. That is drawing some of those spotty showers and storms around and then swinging back toward parts of Latvia, Lithuania. This kind of pivoting its way back toward Russia, but some heavier storms, not as much for Estonia. Most of it is sitting just to the south. So we got kind of a 1-2 punch, one spin here, but that bigger one near Italy and Austria, and that's the one that will bring the severe weather threat later today and even into tomorrow. So you get the outlook for today. We swing back toward Italy, then parts toward the, moving back toward the east. That's where we have some of the heaviest weather, where you're seeing some of the brighter colors. So what are we talking about as far as the severity of some of these storms? Some of us will just get some plain old rain, but others, as we get deeper into the day, we get more of that daytime heating. That gives us the energy, gives us the lift in the atmosphere, right? So those showers and storms could build up. Hail, large hail in spots, gusty winds, and some significant flooding. Not as much Portugal. Spain could get clipped by a couple storms as we swing back toward parts of Spain, but a little bit more so as you get toward extreme eastern France and then swinging off toward the east. Serbia, as you get down toward Albania, a couple isolated storms, but most back to the north. But these storms will be aggressive. Again, we could have an ordinary shower, not a lot at all, and in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, we could get really dumped on with some severe storms that will be moving in. Here's a sample of that later today. Here's that spin, but you see some of the storms popping up where we get them, and this one may be over here, maybe over here. This is just a computer model, but it gives us a good feel. We can get some spots around 150 to about 200 millimeters of rain if we get the downpours. Of course, with our terrain, that would lead to some of that rapid runoff, and that will lead to some of that flooding that we're watching out. On top of it, these storms are really going to build today. So we have that hail potential. Hails when we get these storms that grow really tall in the atmosphere. They get way the heck up there, and then the rain inside of it just gets kind of shot around up in here, and as it lifts up more higher into the sky, it's colder up there. So some of this ice or some of this rain, actually, the rain droplets, they freeze. And once they get heavy enough, they eventually fall to the ground and we get that hail. So not only some hail, but large hail will be a possibility in some of these storms. That could lead to some hail damage in spots. Then flipping over into tomorrow, this is our Sunday, about 150 millimeters of rain. You see how some of this kind of shifts its way. Romania, seeing some of that. Slovakia, Poland, Better chance tomorrow. Backside, we could get clipped by a couple showers, Netherlands, Belgium, but more of this moves away. Some heavier storms again on the move, just shifting a little bit more to the east tomorrow. So let me show you everything with the big picture. And then I want to zoom down. I want to show you the rain totals and the possibility of a tropical storm developing. I'll show you that in just a second. But up to the north, you see a couple of those showers that I was mentioning. There's the spin near Iceland. Here's that bigger spin. Here's some of that rain over toward Belarus. But watching out for another system that will be getting closer. So we've got a couple areas of low pressure, a couple storm systems, actually three, that one near Iceland. And then as we work our way into tomorrow, you can see how some of this works its way over toward Ukraine, getting that chance of some of the storms and still getting clipped by some over toward northern Norway and Sweden. We'll have a chance of some showers where we haven't gotten a lot of rain really over the last several weeks at least. And then as we work our way into Monday, everything kind of feeds in again. Some of the storms could be quite aggressive. Ukraine, and a few of these could clip down to the south. Bulgaria, we could get a couple. Watching over toward Italy again, but here's that spin as we get back toward Iceland, another one that will try to clip us by with a few showers in spots. So it is summertime. We expect some storms around. They've been a little bit stronger with this batch. They are going to be even severe later today into tomorrow, into Monday for some of us. Here's the zoomed down look. I'll take you around to cover where you live. And we were watching over toward Czechia, down towards Switzerland. I mentioned southern Germany with some of those storms. This is later today. Where we have it, it's going to fire up even more so. Croatia, Bosnia getting a couple storms. Even Montenegro, Kosovo, we could get a couple, one or two in Bulgaria as we get into tomorrow, most staying to the north of North Macedonia. Then you could see the thunderstorm threat. Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Hungary, and then you get toward Czechia, Austria for tomorrow. Still some showers. Belgium getting clipped by some, Germany, Switzerland. And then as we get into Monday, we get this lift to the north. I'll zoom to the north in just a second. But look at Italy, Romania, Ukraine. These are going to be bigger storms. Upwards of 150 millimeters of rain, but also the gusty winds. Watching out for that. Very active in Italy. So giving you the heads up, is swinging back toward Florence, up toward Milan. We could still get some of the rain. Still Austria and Switzerland. And here's the deal. Some of the same spots, and that's why I mentioned we could get some additional flooding. If we get some repeat storms, we're going to get some additional runoff, and that will lead to some flooding. Now, here's a look in our northern sections. Watching out for a couple showers that may eventually clip us by. This is later today. I mentioned not a ton going on. Been watching this spin near Iceland with that chance of rain. Here are some of the areas of rain as we get back toward northern Finland, northern Sweden, Russia. We've got some of those storms around. Now let's go out in time here from today into tomorrow. This is tomorrow, and you can see some of the rain that will be on the move. As we get back toward Scotland, Edinburgh, we may see a couple of those showers around, just kind of clipping us by, and then we get back toward Norway, Sweden, seeing some of the rain, and of course watching this as this kind of pivots its way to the north. On Monday, look at that rain. Heads up Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, parts of Belarus, Poland. On Monday, the rain chance going up. So Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, giving you the heads up a couple days in advance. We've got some rain shooting in. Northern Finland seeing some of the rain. And look at the spin as we swing back toward Iceland. Better chance of rain as we work our way into Monday. Not as much as we swing back toward the UK and Ireland. Just getting clipped by some showers over the next few days. Every now and then. I'll be watching your comments. Again, leave your location and what you got going on or you don't have going on. But over toward Scotland, that's where I was just showing you. We may get clipped by some showers where we could get a few spots over 25 millimeters of rain. But overall, we don't have a whole lot going on. Getting brushed by some showers and thunderstorms. Parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, some spots over 25 millimeters of rain. But I mentioned as we get toward Monday, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, that better chance of rain. Look at Poland. I showed you those higher totals that will be possible. Upwards of 150 millimeters of rain or higher in some spots. Watching out for the flooding. Right in through here, parts of Belarus, Ukraine. We're going to see those aggressive storms that will be popping up in spots. And then we get back toward Austria, Slovenia. And you can see as we swing down Greece, not a whole lot, but north, hit or miss showers and storms. Bulgaria, Turkey, of course, dealing with those horrific wildfires in some locations, monitoring that. But those bigger storms right in through here, that's where we get the totals, 100, 150 plus millimeters of some of that rain. Portugal, we're mainly on the dry side. I mentioned Spain. We could still see an isolated storm, mainly northern sections, Barcelona, a couple. Keeping an eye on Marseille, Monaco, Andorra, a couple isolated storms. Eastern sections of France, we could get some storms. Paris to the east, that's where we could get some isolated showers, but again, some limited totals the next few days. Now, I mentioned the chance of a tropical storm developing. There are a couple bigger tropical waves out here. There is a chance, the European model is showing now about a 40% chance at least of this area developing into a tropical storm as it approaches the Caribbean by later next week. So monitoring this area very carefully, and we watch this time of year for that up and around pattern that I'll touch on in just a second. But here's that stronger tropical wave, more stuff coming off the coast of Africa, and watching a new tropical wave sliding into the Caribbean. But things are about to pick up. We're about to get into August. We're getting closer to really the height of the hurricane season, and sometimes you get these spins that rotate around. This one not tropical in nature, and this one should fall apart some. I'll keep an eye on this energy as it kind of lifts up toward us in parts of western sections of Europe. But remnants that make landfall of tropical systems, we get about 2 to 5 across Europe every hurricane season. So about 2 to 5 kind of more significant remnants or leftovers of some hurricanes or tropical storms head our way and move in and cause problems. That's what I'll be tracking as we go over the next few months. So busy pattern ahead. So heavy storms shifting off toward the east. Serious flooding, and as I mentioned, conditions will change quickly in some spots. That's why I'm giving you the heads up. We have that flood threat with some of the storms, wind damage possible in the Atlantic Basin cranking up, so tracking the tropical Atlantic for you. So again, I'll be watching the comments throughout the rest of the today and over the next couple of days to see what kind of weather you have going on. Please keep me posted. If you're in these storms, be mindful of the flooding, gusty winds, lightning. Be safe. I hope you have a good rest of your day.